Ender's Game or Game Ender, putting your stocks in the hand of a 12-year-old. This story and more on I'm breaking a basement, and this is Skid Plate News, scraping the bottom so you don't have to. A special note, thank you very much, Mrs. Parks from Oregon, for donating $1 to our GoFundMe. Apparently it's to save the abused and neglected animal. You are a national treasure, Mrs. Parks. For our first story, we have a bit of a trigger warning. So if you have anybody who's overly sensitive about things, you might want to get them to leave the room, especially if they're a man baby. Console Wars, the invisible battle raging online. Whether you play on one or more of these systems, you generally have a preference, even if you're a fake neutral. Often regarded as a friendly rivalry, it can devolve into personal attacks and threats, kind of like real sports fans. We have images of how this slugfest is playing out between these giants. As you can see, none are giving up any ground, as they are just plastic boxes. To cover this topic in its entirety would be time-consuming and complex, which is why we will take a look at some of the people involved, the hurt feelings, the silly takes, and of course blocking people who disagree with you. Which brings us to this man, Broken Gamers HDR.
Look at this dude.
The notorious PlayStation advocate, a Twitter poster, BG, has made the bold statement that he doesn't buy new consoles to play old games. This was a take against Xbox players who enjoy a subscription service known as Game Pass, which offers day one releases alongside older games. This post aged poorly when Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut was announced, as he was all for buying it despite his previous comment. Ghost of Tsushima was released mid-2020 and is considered an older title amongst the gaming community. BG's defense was, this should be considered new, as it updates several things and adds in cut content and new missions. Look, it's an older title. Getting a DLC, just enjoy it. It's like saying Final Fantasy XIV is new because it released new content including missions. And it was released in 2010, originally. And then a remake was released in 2013. People were quick to point out this to BG, which hurt his feelings. And he eventually blocked anyone who even mentioned or liked a post.
And you fail.
Last known estimate put his block count over the issue well over 800. And of course, the memes came out over the silly reaction of the notorious post. Currently, he's continued to post harsh takes on a wide variety of issues, and blocking or muting people who disagree with him. Humility is a hard lesson for this one. In other news, a small Scottish cafe has come under fire for selling bacon sandwiches to minors. Apparently, the cafe was offering, according to signage, Peppa Pig plus bread. And I'm assuming a farmer or a cow character plus bread? Vegans and Karens were so outraged at the Peppa Pig reference, claiming it was insensitive and could traumatize kids. However, no one gave two shits about the cow farmer. I'm assuming it's because it's not as cool as Peppa Pig. Vegans getting mad about people eating meat? Who would have thunk it? You know, this reminds me of the time a friend of mine gone vegan for a weekend got mad on my take for eating meat. So he went and he cooked up a whole smorgasbord of meat treats for me and threw it down at me and said, "Enjoy your meat, you savage." So, me being me, I picked up each piece, juicy little morsel, dipped it in whatever sauce I was eating at the time, and started making animal sounds as I was devouring them. I don't have any friends anymore. Up next, we follow one man's battle to glory and what it takes to be a competitive gamer. Here on Skid Plate News.
What the f***?
Oh my god. We are not showing that. Burn the fucking footage. Seriously. He turned a toilet into a gaming chair, and what was that? A kitchenette beside him? This is all attached to his gamer desk? And my god, was that his mother bringing him resupplies? That's an absolute no. I'm really sorry. I know we promised you some footage and stuff like that, but yeah, you really don't want to see that. Finally, playing an Ender's Game with your child. If you're worried about spoilers, the movie came out in 2013. If you haven't watched it by now, you suck. According to the author of the article on the famous Wall Street bets posted on Reddit, the man claims to have accrued $250,000 in stock for his portfolio over the years. His son, aged 12, was participating in a class project involving stock trading. Using $10,000 of imaginary money, he began investing over the next few months. According to the author and father of the 12-year-old, he was very dismissive of the son's exploits until he was meeting with the teacher, who at the time pointed out his son's affinity for it, a pure gift, as he had made $10,000 into $1.2 million. The author goes on, taking what he has discovered to Reddit like any stable genius, proposed setting up an Ender's Game scenario by telling his son there was a scholarship for those who could turn $250,000 into $10 million. He was going to hand access, or is going to hand access, of his portfolio to his kid. The upside of this, should he succeed, he will have a very posh upbringing and free tuition. The downside is, should he fail, his father will probably resent him for the rest of his life. The kid will probably be constantly in and out of therapy. Thank you very much for your time. This has been Skid Plate News. And we're clear? At least that kid has a father. Still waiting on my family to eventually come home or make contact, send a card. You know what? If you need me, I'll be in the shower, crying in the fetal position. I'm out.